Okay, welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to see you all this morning, evening, depending upon where you live on the planet. Just because we have a couple of new faces here today, I just want to remind you that Chris and I are co-owners and co-founders of the World White Center, where we teach people that they are all powerful and all knowing in all moments. Chris teaches people that they are God, that you are God, because you are. And I'm a medical intuitive, and I help people learn how to heal themselves, because nobody can heal you but yourself. Does not mean we do not use all other means to assist us, but it comes from within, and the core of it all is self-love. So, Chris, it's going to be quite the session today. It's a little different. I'm looking forward to it. Why don't you begin?
Okay, welcome everybody. Obviously, it's a great joy for our heart to share with you all the simple and most powerful truth that the greatest force of healing and creation on earth is self-love. And truthfully, I can't say that enough times, because what we're going to talk about today is about self-esteem, self-worth, and our experience of that, and where it comes from, and how we can make choices to change that experience through the power of self-love. And in the past week, I had two different individuals come to me and ask me about self-esteem. So I knew that it was something that I needed to look at. And when I sat down to write the letter to everybody to let you know what the topic would be and to invite you to join, I found myself writing a line which says, "We compare ourselves to know ourselves." And I think it's really important for everybody to take a moment and be with that, because we live in a world where we fundamentally look outside ourselves and judge how we are and who we are. If you think about it, we live in a world where we focus so much on celebrities, leaders, how our friends are doing, how we're doing compared to them. We live in a world of comparison. And this is our choice. And I think the core of the choice is because when we don't fill ourselves with self-love, we yearn for some affirmation of ourselves, because without that self-love as a foundation and as a basis, we are weakened. We weaken the power that we are. And so what we do then is we look outside and we say, well, I'm this relative to that person. I look at an image of people who are thinner than I am, or I look at images of people who are more successful or more whatever. And actually what we're doing all the time then is sending back a message to our heart of less, that we are somehow less than all of these ways we compare ourselves to everything else. And what I would encourage you to do is to know, to absolutely know that as you are perfect. And you have this extraordinary journey of discovery of all that you are. And the tool and the path to discover that, I suggest you walk on this path, is to ask yourself about your joys. Because your joys are the unique tool through which you can reignite the fire of self-love that you are. And they are unique to you. You know, what gives you joy? Follow that. Celebrate that. Figure out how to do more of that in your life. Because as you fill yourself with that joy and you reawaken the fire that you are, you will re-strengthen those bonds to yourself that are weakened when you look outside and see yourself as less. You are never less. There is no such thing. Each of us is God. Each of us is wholly perfect as we are. We can never be less than that. We can only choose to think we are less. We can only choose to look at somebody else and think, I'm not as good as they are, or I don't have as much as they are, or I'm not as successful as they are. That is our choice. So rather than follow those choices, I recommend what you do is you take time to really sit with yourself and really honestly ask yourself, what gives me joy? The absolute joy that I feel completely flooded, with flow. I often ask people when I work with them, there's an exercise I do, and I ask them to just close their eyes for a moment and tell me one moment, the greatest moment they can remember of feeling joy in their life. And that becomes their touchstone. And what I say about touchstone, what I mean is that becomes the way they use to assess choices they're going to make. So in other words, if I know what that great moment of joy felt like, then anytime I'm going to make a choice, I can ask myself, does this choice to do this have any flicker of that joy in it? And if it does, follow it, do it, enjoy it, be with it, share it with people, tell people about your joy. And this path of self-discovery of your joy will reacquaint you with the gloriousness of who you are and will lessen the aspect of you right now that looks outside at others and compares. And day by day by day, as you do that, you will be less likely to turn outside and compare, and more likely to just keep following the incredible joy that you have. And I'll share one story with you. In the darkest moments for me in this lifetime, it was in a very serious depression that I had gotten myself into. The thing that saved my life in a way was remembering the joy that I felt as a child, jumping a fence and smelling the grass, because when I jumped the fence, I rolled in the grass. And I remembered how incredible that felt for me. I could smell the grass, I felt my body, I loved jumping the fence the way I did. I remembered it in my darkest moment. And from that dark moment, remembering that moment of jumping that fence and how I felt in my being, I made the choice to find my way back to the light from the darkness. So it is an incredibly powerful tool to find that moment in this lifetime when you know you felt so much joy, you just were flooded with it. And remember that and revisit it and use it as a reminder when you're making choices about joy. And you will Add that air to that fire, and that joy will grow in you and your life. So self-esteem and self-worth is only the experience of choosing not to celebrate all that you are, because you already are all. You are already wholly everything. You cannot be less. So you are no less. Only your thoughts that you are less is that experience of less. It is not a truth. It is only a thought, a belief, and you change it by choosing a different relationship with yourself, a relationship of acceptance, a relationship of celebration and love. Mary?
As you are all aware, Chris and I approach teaching from a different angle. And when we decided to choose the subject of self-esteem, I went inside. What creates our lack of self-esteem? What I understand in my own personal experience is that sometimes we hear messages from outside, which really is not outside, but it as an infant, as a young child, as a partner, that you are less. It is so important to be able to acknowledge that you will hear messages to learn from them so that you can change them. I know personally that I was an abused child at a very young age and for many, many years, and I was always told that I was stupid. I'm sure each of us sitting here today can remember a moment where you start thinking about yourself in that type of way, a way that is filled with pain, a way that is filled with lack, and a way that stays with you through the years of growing and learning and changing and coming into adulthood, and for some of us being seniors. The most important part of those messages is to recognize them as an opportunity to change them, to ask, why am I hearing that, especially as an adult? When we're children, we are really connected at a soul level to each parent that we have chosen in this lifetime. The messages they shared with us were messages of their pain, not your pain, not my pain. As a child, we come empty. We're empty vessels. And yet we are full with the knowing that we are God, but we forget. We absolutely forget. And then we hear, you're dirty, you're stupid, you're bad, you're mean. They withhold love sometimes, so we're not lovable. It is the path of childhood in some homes where we're not loved unconditionally and told how absolutely marvelous we are in all moments. I'm sure each of you can imagine and remember, perhaps not a true memory, but have an awareness of things you've heard in childhood that have stayed with you. My mother is a total narcissist. My father always asked his daughters, my sister and myself, to feed into her narcissism just to create peace in the family. Self-esteem is directly reflected out of that. I am not worthy to stand on my own and have an opinion or disagree with fear of being truly punished or beaten in some cases. I bring to you today a meditation that will allow us to begin the work to release childhood energies of pain so that your self-esteem is not rooted in childhood. And when that changes, when those roots are shriveled up and taken away, you have the opportunity to begin the work as a powerful, strong being that you are, to change all of that. Before we go there, and I do want to remind you, we are recording this. So if you want to ask a question anonymously, use the chat. Otherwise, please, if you have any questions, now is the time. Any thoughts? Saj?
Yeah, as usual, there's something or the other. But somehow, whatever topics both of you are choosing, there's exactly what I have been thinking. Exactly, it just connects to me. I don't know how. It's just like what I'm asking nature, and I'm asking, and it's just coming back to me. The today's topic, what you've chosen, is exactly what I'm kind of trying to get myself out. As you very nicely put it, like it was conditioned as a childhood, something to me which lowered my self-esteem. Now what I realize in my maturity, and I, because of my understanding, I understand that it's just a conditioning. When I'm thinking I'm okay, but there are times I just phase back, and automatically it just from inside it comes, like how in the beginning you just explained that I'm not good enough. Like I keep comparing myself. I'm not good enough. Like I understand I should not. I understand that I'm complete. I have read and I'm listening to all of you, and lots of books. Even I when I speak to Mahalakshmi ji, I understand completely well. But something in me subconsciously brings me back to that conditioning, and I unconsciously I just start comparing myself, and just self-esteem, I just lower myself, and that's what I do, and then that's what the nature gives back to me. It just puts me back in my place, that yeah, you're not good, so it just comes back from the others, from everybody around. So I just don't know how to, this vicious cycle, just how to break it and come out.
Mary, do you want me to go?
If you want.
Okay.
I was ready, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You go first. Go ahead.
I know that we have intellectual understanding of how we should feel. That is, as we continue to learn and to grow, we're aware of what we should be experiencing. But I also know that we have roots of pain. Sometimes they manifest in the physical and it creates illness. Other times it manifests and becomes an emotional issue. As we release the roots from the infancy through childhood, it will allow you to not have to keep going back. It will actually create great freedom for you. And you'll have to do it again and again. It doesn't take just the one time. All I can offer is a tool that will assist you begin this process. Chris, do you want to take over from there?
Are you going to offer the tool?
It's going to be part of the meditation.
Oh, as the meditation. Okay. I
have more questions, by the way, here.
Okay. Let me quickly give you some guidance on that. Just understand that our beliefs create the structure within which we live our lives, because we are unlimited in the essence of our experience as souls. And so the path to help you break patterns that repeat over and over for you is first just take a piece of paper and free write a paragraph about, let's say, self-worth, how you feel about yourself. Just free write. Don't make it be anything, whatever the words are that come out, let them come out. And then take a look at what you wrote afterwards for the fundamental beliefs about yourself that you express in that written paragraph. Because each of those beliefs exist because you chose them as God until you release them. And so then identify the beliefs. You might believe, I'm just not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not whatever. You release that belief, like with a 3-step tool that we've shared. And then you must stay in awareness of the trigger that your heart will bring back to you, asking you, do you really mean it, that you're letting that go? And so the next time that thought comes of lack of self-worth, you will speak to it and say, I understand, that's the way I chose to love myself, but I no longer make that choice. I make this new choice. And to be honest with you, for many, many of your beliefs, you will need to do this 5, maybe 10 times before you weaken its bonds of repetition. But you will. If you stay with yourself and you stay committed to a new set of beliefs about yourself, you will break down those old patterns.
We have 2 questions here. I think they are more linked than they are different. One is, I'm still stuck with how to love yourself. And the other one is, can you elaborate a bit on moments of joy? What kind of moments? I will leave that to you, Chris.
So the first one was, I'm still stuck on
Self-love, loving myself, yes. How
like
to love yourself.
how to love yourself.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says.
Okay, remember that the 3 ways that we create everything are our thoughts, our words, and our actions. So the first place to start is what I just described. Make a choice to change your belief about being lovable, because to the extent you don't know how to love yourself, it's because deep in your heart, right in this moment, you don't feel lovable. You don't feel worthy to be loved, right? So this to me is what I describe to people often of, we are raised in a world where if we were plants, nobody's giving us water and we're not giving ourselves any water. So we're struggling to stay alive. The water is a commitment to find 10 things you love about yourself every single day for the rest of your life and gift yourself that. I love, I couldn't sleep last night. For some reason, I was wide awake during the night. So what I do is I go, I love my eyes. I love the way I see the world. I love my ears. I just went through my physical body, just loving and loving and loving everything about it. I loved my arteries. I loved how they handle the plaque that form as I get older. I loved, and this is what I did because I was awake for like 3 hours. So that's giving the plant water. That's a gift you can give yourself. And if you can't think of 10 things you love about yourself, take 1 moment a day, make it extraordinary. I love me. Do it with passion. I always tell people, don't make it a blind date where or you have a date with someone and you say, what do you love about me? And they have to hum and ha and think about it. Instead, do it with joy. Gift yourself that. This is not complicated. This is taking the bucket to the faucet, putting some water in it, and pouring it on the plant every single day. And the plant going, that feels so good. It's not hard. This is simple. This is private. You don't have to tell anybody that you are loving everything about you. You just have to do it. So that's how. It's not hard. But it is the gift you must give yourself, because nobody outside of you can love you any more than you love yourself. So you must give yourself that gift. Okay. What was the second one, Mar? The joy question?
What kind of moments do they? So the words are, can you elaborate a bit on moments of joy? What kind of moments?
Joy has no bounds. and it has no limits, and it has no image. It is essence. It is, that's the only way I can describe it. It's like a fire, you know, it is beautiful in its sparks. It's everything. Everything and anything can be joy. That's why I said, ask yourself what gives you joy, and then follow that. There is a line in The Simple Truth About God that, you know, that joy has no bounds and no limits. And it is really, really, really true. We experience in our hearts and in our lifetime, by our choices not to feed ourselves with self-love, a fraction, just even in that question, not even knowing what would joy look like. Yet I really truly believe that all of us, every single one of us, in our private moment, can just take ourselves through our lives to any moment of joy, find it and acknowledge it. And I will go back to that deep, dark time in my life, because one commitment I made myself to get myself out of the darkness is I said, I will find one moment of joy a day, and I will acknowledge it, and I'll accept the rest of my day. And what were those moments of joy? I was working in Boston, Massachusetts, in United States. I was working, and I would ride what called the T. People would call it a metro or a subway to work. And if I found a person that there was just their smile or something, I knew I got my moment of joy. I saw it, I recognized, I felt it. Or if I read an article in the paper and there was something about it that just got me, I would acknowledge I got a moment of joy. Because at that point I was in darkness. I didn't even know other than that memory what joy would feel like to be my everyday life. And it took me 4 years, 4 years, okay, 4 years to rebuild from the darkness back to when I all of a sudden realized, oh my God, I have this incredible experience of light in my life. The joy can be your experience that you're feeling. It can be an interaction with somebody. It could be something in nature. It can be anything. But find it, acknowledge that you felt it, even as a flicker, like a flicker of light from the fire in your heart. Acknowledge it, and then go through the rest of your day. And what you will discover is each day, that one moment that you find will somehow create 2 and 3. And for me, 4 years later, my life was filled with it, one at a time. That's the path.
Okay. Thank you.
There is a difference between joy and happiness. Joy, it comes from the most unusual places. Holding a child or a grandchild for the first time, you know, a big life event. But it could come from, believe it or not, cleaning your home, looking around and feeling that sense of joy that it's done and it's great, and you don't have to do it again for a while. Those are moments, they pass. But when you hold on to the joy, the moments increase, and you find that you're living a life that has more and more joy in it because you're acknowledging those moments. Happiness is a state of being. I'm a happy person, but those moments of joy make my heart sing. There is a difference, and you can feel the difference. And I'm sure you've each have had many of those moments. So pay attention to the simplest acts. You cook a meal and you're in the kitchen and you feel, wow, it smells great in here. It tastes great. I can't wait to feed it to my family and they love it. Feel the joy. Don't wash it away and say, oh, it was nothing. Or let yourself be bathed in that. and feel the difference inside of you when you allow yourself to have that experience of allowing the joy to come up and say, instead of saying, oh, it was nothing, you say, isn't it great? It's okay to celebrate those moments. It's okay. It's actually fabulous. All right, folks, we're going to start healing. We're going to find our self-esteem. We're going to take a giant step forward. So this is time for meditation. I invite each of you to make yourselves comfortable, have a sip of water, and then let yourselves go. And we'll see how this unfolds for each of us today. Inhale deeply. Hold it as long as you can. And when you're ready, release. And once again, inhale deeply. Hold it. And feel yourself let go as you release that breath. And do it one more time. Hold it and let it go. And today, I invite you to do something a little different. Picture yourself lying on your bed. But for most of us, where we sleep at night is our safe space. Lie on your bed, on your back, and let your body grow heavier with every breath you inhale. And let your body just relax with every exhale. Inhale and feel your body sink deeper into the mattress beneath you. The room temperature is perfect. You are totally in comfort. And exhale, allowing your body to let go to the point where you don't feel much of your body any longer. Do it again one more time. Inhale and sink deeper into the cushions. And as you exhale, allow your body to disappear. And in this moment, I ask you to feel yourself separate from the physical experience. Feel yourself rise above the body that is lying safely upon your bed. Feel yourself floating above your body. And imagine your soul above you. In this moment, your soul standing beside you begins to get smaller. It gets smaller and younger. Picture it in your mind and feel it with your heart. Your soul is transforming into the you upon birth. Imagine yourself picking up this infant that is you. Perhaps an infant that is not yet named. Take it in your arms and hold it against your heart. And tell this little being that has traveled a long journey to get here how welcome it is, how loved it is, how magnificent it is. And use the word you. You are here. You are welcome. You are loved. And make sure you say, you are God. Feel the infant just squirm in delight, for it hears you. It recognizes the truth in this moment. Nurture this little being as you would have loved to have had that experience. And now the infant begins to get a little older. Perhaps it's a little toddler. And the infant the child does something. It spills some milk. How do you respond to this little being? It is you. You come and comfort this child. Tell this child, it's okay. And you clean up the mess with the child and you laugh together. And you find the experience another opportunity for joy, sharing, comforting. Feel comforted as the child feels. Giggle as the child giggles for not being punished. Find that within you and allow yourself to grow a little more. We each have had our own experiences of pain. In this moment, I invite you to find a moment of pain in your youth and change it. Come to yourself in that memory and change the way it was responded to. Become your own parent, your own guide, your own guardian, and allow yourself to relive that moment, changing it to enhance your experience of perfection. I will give you each a moment. Turn the pain around and come out of this experience with a smile, in peace, in acceptance that everything has purpose, even something, whatever it was that you experienced. Our teenage years are the most challenging. We discover our independence. Picture yourself as a young teenager before you. As a young teenager, perhaps you were afraid. Perhaps you were shy. Perhaps you tested the boundaries more than you think you should have. Perhaps you battled with your family. Perhaps you were bullied and told many things. Face this young teenager, a reflection of yourself, and turn the experience around. Let yourself know that there is no reason to fear, for you are magnificent. You are beautiful. You are powerful. You are important. How often do we feel unimportant? Feel how important you are. Nurture this being and allow it to enter you. Experience it from both sides. Be the nurturer and the nurtured. Let go of the original experience and feel yourself grow. Feel yourself come into young adulthood with concerns, worries, obligations, commitments, issues. For each of us, some are the same and many are different. And stand there and tell yourself as a young adult, you are doing a great job. Step into your power. Feel the love that you are. Allow yourself to explore. Define yourself. Experience your magnificence. And let go of what you have heard that was diminishing or less. I will bring us all to this moment of your being upon this planet as an adult. Let go of all that has happened in the past. Hold on to the memories of great joy. Hold on to knowing who you are. Choose in this moment that what has been is no more, except that it taught you everything you need to know now in this moment. And plan ahead. Be in the moment and look forward and see only the light. It's a reflection of what is burning inside of you, your power, your essence, your love. Feel your heart expand as you feel this light grow. Feel the love. Love yourself. As you love yourself, others will love you equally, powerfully, majestically, but it starts with you. Feel your power. As you experience your power continues to expand exponentially. And choose your joy. Find more and more moments of joy. Seek them out. Change patterns of behavior and old habits. Let them go. And find joy every day, even if only for a few moments. And watch your world change. And as your soul continues to expand into the limitlessness that it is, become aware once again of your lying upon your mattress in your bed, in your room, safe, secure, in the knowing that you can come back here and allow yourself to heal yourself from moments of pain, whether they're from yesterday or 20 years ago or 40 years ago. Continue to heal. If we do this daily, we will be joy and love and powerful in all moments of our lives. Live in the moment and look ahead. I invite you each to return when you're ready to open your eyes. Know that Chris and I have been doing powerful healing on each of you while you were healing yourself. There is no powerful healer upon this earth than you for you. And with this note, once again, thank you for joining us. We love you. We wish you glory in your experience. Thank you from our heart to yours.